Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 572 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. What I have for you today is an interesting, kind of almost a proposition, an opinion, but it has been pretty controversial over the internet today in terms of the Snyderverse. But before that, of course, I want to thank my new members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. That is right here. Let me pull that up. The ACS Universe, Anthony himself has joined the membership. Thank you so much. By the way, I did a very funny, a very enjoyable live stream with him on his channel. The link is in the description below. The 3 questions he asked, very thought-provoking. I think I answered it okay, but if you're wanting to find out what those questions are, go over to the ACS Universe and check out our live stream together. I would also thank code AWESOME28. I would thank Carlos N, Mr. J310, and of course, thank you so much to the other members who are part of the Ping Pong Flix Show, all the way from Kal-El, Krypton, Frank Dombrowski, Curtis D. Berg, WH Productions, Danny Gray, Derek Schultz, Ray Reyes Collection, Brandon Hall, William Powell, Entertainment, George Arif Hussein, Darius Sherrington, Sickness, and of course my first one, Krypton K. So thank you guys so much for joining my membership of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope I don't let you down. As we get closer a little bit more, I'll probably do a video just for you guys, just to show you my setup here. All right, guys. Well, let's get on with the show. The first thing I want to talk about is the Krypton series revival. Is the Krypton series coming back? Now, Krypton was a show over on Sci-Fi Channel, and I'm wondering if the views weren't doing good or something. They canceled it after 2 seasons. For me, it was enjoyable. I mean, at first I was kind of hesitant to check it out, but then when I got into it, the first season, I was hooked. Second season, hooked. It was very bold. It was Elseworldsy. You know, it's like a different universe. At first it started like, okay, this is where it starts. We know we're gonna get to like Jor-El and then Kal-El. We know we're gonna get there, but they went bold with it. They introduced Adam Strange. They introduced all this the different timelines and things like that, and they introduced like characters like Brainiac, right, Doomsday, and then the big bad himself towards the ends of season 2, which is going to be Darkseid. So it was going into a direction that I could not even fathom. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. This is bold, but I'm loving it. I love Cameron Cuffers, who plays the main character. And of course, there's something going on today, right? It was canceled. Nothing more new about that. They did talk about this last year, where a company called Warner Horizon Scripted Television is reportedly in conversations with DC Universe and HBO Max to potentially continue Krypton for a 3rd season. Now, this was back in August 16th of 2019. We have heard nothing, absolutely nothing from this whatsoever, which makes me sad. I would love to see this series continue. But there was something today, though. Something today. Cameron Johnson said, so I just had a walkthrough of DC fandom with some other DC actors, and y'all, that thing is going to blow your minds. Holy cow, right? And he's from Batwoman, okay? But look who tweeted right under. Cool, right? Wallace Day. Wallace Day. Yeah. From Krypton, Wallace Day. And so I'm wondering, okay, does that mean now it could mean Krypton, right? It could mean. I mean, she's the mother of Jor-El. So it's like it could be that or something else. She means that she's also part, or she's just there checking it out. But why would she be there if there's no Krypton? Or are they introducing Krypton back? Is she going to be a new character? Is this a new series? So many questions. But for me, like, to me, the first thing I saw that was save Krypton. Is there going to be Krypton? I mean, it would be pretty impressive, and I'd be pretty happy if they threw it on HBO Max. We're talking about multiverse here already, and that series really introduced a lot of that multiverse kind of. I mean, it's mostly about time and everything and changing time, but that also could potentially make another branch through another timeline, through another universe. There was great moments in that, right? So I'm really curious to see if Krypton can be saved and if Krypton's going to be at DC Fandom. But in any case, her inclusion, right, is interesting. So I don't know if that means Krypton is coming back, but it could mean some exciting things that we don't know of at DC Fandom, and I'm really curious to how this would potentially blow our minds, right? I'm really curious about that. What could also blow our minds is Ryan Reynolds returning as Green Lantern. Now, I know Grace Randolph has talked about this. John Aaron Garza has talked about this. They're all in on this. Stephen Colbert and Daily Film Junkie also said that Ryan Reynolds was wanting to come back as Green Lantern like in the BVS days, right? So there was already conversations about this happening on, right? So are there more conversations? Is there a deal being struck? Is it gonna happen? Like I've said before, I'm all in for Ryan Reynolds returning as Green Lantern, especially like an older Hal Jordan Green Lantern mentoring a younger John Stewart, and have that Lethal Weapon type of storyline. Have them both inside Zack Snyder's Justice League. That would be so awesome. Now, we all know about tinfoil stuff. I've talked about tinfoil stuff. We've talked about. I have a tinfoil right there with Zack Snyder's name on it to show me, to prove to me that sometimes tinfoil can come true, right? Snyder Cut. Sometimes tinfoil can become reality. So Ryan Reynolds returning as Green Lantern. That may happen. That actually may happen. I don't know if we're going to hear about it at DC Fandom. I don't know. I don't know if there's still things that still have to work out. I figure probably only Grace and Garza really knows about that right now with their contacts. But I am excited for it. But it's kind of funny that we're talking about this. But and you're going to think we're crazy here. But like Ryan Reynolds tweeted out an Unsolved Mysteries clip. And I don't really want to play with you, but it's a cute little thing where it says it's why the next Deadpool film is taking so long. Still trying to solve this. Happy leak anniversary. So this is probably when he leaked his Deadpool footage, and so they made the Deadpool film. But it's almost like, in a way, it's kind of like a power play. In a way, it's kind of like, well, I really want to be Green Lantern, but I also want to be Deadpool. So I'm wondering, maybe it's a kind of way to try to pivot things, right? Garza already replied to this is why. Like anniversary, brightest day in blackest night, right? So this is Green Lantern, of course. He's all in on that. I'm all for it. Like I said, I'm all for it, and it makes a lot of sense. But that'd be pretty awesome, pretty dope if he became a Green Lantern. So he figures that's what that's about. Hugh Jackman, tweeted out something that was also quite interesting as well. He said, "Careful. This video is really him. Ryan Reynolds congratulating Hugh Jackman for winning an Emmy nominations. Now, careful, Van City Reynolds or Ryan Reynolds. You're looking a bit green. Thank you. Blah blah blah. Now." Now I jumped on it for fun because I figure it means green with envy because he's envious. That's the actual term, green with envy. But I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to show that to you, how that just adds to coincidence and adds to the conversation of possibly Ryan Reynolds coming back as Green Lantern. So I thought that was kind of funny that Hugh Jackman tweeted that out. But something else interesting as well. Jay Oliva. Okay, Jay Oliva tweeted this out. Out of the blue, this made me chuckle. Ryan Reynolds hilariously crashes original X-Men reunion with Hugh Jackman. So that is a short little video where Hugh Jackman looks like he was on Zoom chat with X-Men cast, and then Ryan Reynolds just boop shows up and everybody just leaves, and then he turns it into an X-Men Origins thing, and Sabretooth comes in. So it's Liv who comes in, and it's a really funny skit and clip, but it's funny that Jay Oliva put that out. Maybe not. I tweeted that out as well. Everybody tweeted because it's really funny. It was enjoyable. It makes me wonder, like, that would be pretty cool at a DC fandom in a Zoom chat, some random Zoom chat, I don't know, and Zack Snyder's Justice League, Ryan Reynolds just whoop, shows up and is like, well, am I in the wrong panel? Just to show up that he's a possibly coming as Green Lantern. But what I found even more interesting, even more interesting, is that Jay Oliva decided to not make a new post, but he commented under this post, the Mark Hughes article today. The one that Mark Hughes says, today at Forbes, I explain how and why HBO Max could continue the Snyderverse in animation in addition to any live action plans they have. Plus, I have an update on some related rumors, so read on DCEU fans, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Well, that is interesting. Why would Jay Oliva, instead of creating a new Twitter post in regards to that, decide to put that out and later on comment on that same post, put Mark Hughes' post under that? That, to me, is interesting. Tinfoil hat on. Is he insinuating that Ryan Reynolds is indeed back as Green Lantern, Zack Snyder's Justice League? Or, if we go even crazier, it's not too crazy, really. This is Mark Hughes Forbes' article in relation to the Snyderverse. What he talks about here is that in addition to any live action plans, including like Justice League 1, maybe even 2 and 3, however much they're going to do it, that they could possibly do added on spin-offs, other films, other animations, other series, mini-series, things like that, to build the Snyderverse, but through animation. Now, he goes through great length about COVID-19, which makes a lot of sense. Can't really shoot anything right now, but they need to put more content in HBO Max, so they might as well start working on it like remotely with animation, right? And having Jay Oliva be part of it. Jay Oliva is all in on this, by the way. He's even commented in the article itself because they're working together. Mark and Jay Oliva has been working together. So, and he's all for it. I'm all for it. I love Jay Oliva stuff, right? And Zack Snyder stuff as well. I'm all in for whatever they want to do. But it's exciting to hear this because they're not only just going to throw Justice League, and I know this is something that he's probably been hearing. I'm just telling you, he's probably putting this out because he's probably hearing. And Jay Oliva really pushing this as well because he's maybe he's even having a few things on in the pipeline in terms of Snyderverse animation. So which is really exciting, right? So Mark Hughes is trying to say that they could possibly do little things, possibly even the Batman. If Ben Affleck doesn't want to come back as the Batman, he doesn't want to go through that physical role. the Batman could be animated. And that's just an example, by the way. But I'm thinking, well, how far does this go? They could animate a lot of different things, right? They could animate the Amazons. They can animate the Aquaman, a little bit in the Aquaman world. They can animate within the Flash world. They can animate within the Cyborg world. They could animate Green Lantern. Some parts of Green Lantern stories, they could have that animated. They could have Ryan Reynolds be the voice for Green Lantern in that animated. They could have Ben Affleck as the voice for Batman in some of those animated. They could borrow these characters, Gal, Jason, Ezra, whoever, Ray Fisher, Henry Cavill, to voice the characters of these superheroes within those animations, while they still have their live action projects within the Snyderverse as well. So it's like an added thing. So it's like if you saw, it's actually like Star Wars, and it's kind of funny. I'm going to talk about Star Wars in a bit, but it's like Star Wars. Star Wars, you had your movies, you had your TV series, you had your video games. I just threw that in there because I love video games. And they need more. They need more Justice League video games. I don't care what the hell they really do. But video games and animation, or DC animation, right? Star Wars animation. So same thing. They have CG type animation. They have a drawn animation. It's all there. It builds the universe. It expands the universe. It makes Snyderverse its own thing. Snyderverse, it's an own universe. So that's what I'm really excited about. That is exceptional. If that's going to happen, it really builds it. It shows you how much HBO Max has confidence and excited to expand it. It's gone beyond the point that they're just going to give us the movie what the fans wanted and that's it, and we're done. With this potential, it expands the universe. It creates more content in HBO Max. It lets Zack Snyder play in his own little realm, in his own universe, however he wants to see fit. As you know, Stone Quarry is not only just doing live action films. They're doing TV series, animation. He's working with Jay Oliva already with the Norse mythology. Imagine, how could you not pass that up? Imagine a origin tale for like Martian Manhunter. It's all animated, but it's like the prequel. Imagine seeing that prequel comic with Kara-El, but actually seeing her in animated form, right? So there's so many things you can do with animation right now in between, in as an addendum, as a addition to all the other live action projects, which could say Justice League 1, 2, and 3. And so that makes it a lot more exciting. And I think this doesn't. I don't know why people have been hating on this. I don't understand. And to the point that Mark Hughes actually had to kind of just relay some information here. He says, "Attention. Anyone reading my article and thinking I'm promoting animation instead of live action for Snyderverse content is misunderstanding. I suggest animation because I love animation. DC does it great, and COVID plus recession are causing studios to delay live action. So I'm saying whether you're going to make live action later or not, or now, for now, there's no reason not to get started on animated projects that can be done now and would be great alongside possible live action as well. I love to see what animated DC and Snyderverse is like too. Me too. I'm all for it. I am all for it. I am all for seeing that. I actually support that 100% to see a animated parts of Snyderverse in there. If they have a project they're thinking of, Jay Oliva wants to do a project animated form, do it. Zack Snyder wants to work on a project with Jay or anybody else or anything, and he wants to do an animated form, do it. If he wants to go live action, do it. That's the point. Whatever they want to do, I'm already eating it up. I'm already a Snyderverse fan. I'm already a Zack Snyder and Jay Oliva stan, and I'm ready for whatever they want to do, whatever we get to see. So I'm all for that. I mean, even if Justice League had to be an animated, I'm all for that as well, because at least we get to see the story. I want to know more about the Snyderverse. I want to know where it's headed, and I just want to know more. I just want to be there, part of it as well. So that was the whole animated into the Snyderverse thing. I forgot to change the title, but yeah, that animated to the Snyderverse, I am really all for that. It is quite exciting to hear the potential of that actually happening, and if that does happen the way we think it's going to happen, I think it's really going to build the war. It's going to really build the excitement. It's going to really get people to come on HBO Max. I can imagine lots of merchandise, toys, comics, so much more in our own little Snyderverse bubble. And we can still get excited for other universes as well. But for the Snyderverse, this is Zack Snyder's opportunity to go full blown and explore every section and every part of the fabrication of his universe that he has ever wanted, right? This is something he has not have able to done before, right? In the studio, because of the studio and everything, what they wanted, Jeff Johns, etc. This is his universe, and he can make whatever he damn pleases. And I love that. I am all for that. So yes, and into the Snyderverse indeed. Deep into the Snyderverse, this rabbit hole. If it sounds like where it's going, and I think Mark Hughes is suggesting this, because I mean he turns down some things where it's like, well, it's rumored this is not happening, but this could happen. It sounds almost to the point that he knows that some of these things are happening, and if that's the case, I am all for it. I'm ready to go into the Snyderverse, very much so. So let's talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League a little bit, right? Zack Snyder's Justice League. It could be a mix of the OG and new. What I'm talking about is there is on Vero. Zack Snyder had put up this post. Thank you to Release Soldier. The OG script could have been so good. Now, in context, this person asked, I don't know if it's okay thing to ask, but ever since that director's cut screening, I was wondering about if the end result of rewriting original jail script made you more happy about the story you are going to tell now. Do you consider it an improvement, or do you regret that the original script was never filmed? And he said in replies, original was awesome. So when you look at this, and when I look at it, I interpret it as it was awesome, meaning that was back then. That was the original script and everything, right? But because the times have changed, there's many years have passed since he thought of that original, and with the inclusion of possibly Green Lanterns and Martian Manhunter and other things, he could be like, well, I want to add this, because he has the freedom to now. He has the freedom. There's no restriction this time. Uncompromised, meaning everything he's doing on out, it's on him. And for a creative person like that, who probably keeps on thinking of these new ideas, he'd probably be like, well, I want to do it this way now and change it up, which makes it a lot more exciting, because that means it's a mix of the original with some new things. And it could mean that we damn won't know what's going to happen in this movie, right? We won't know. We think we know, but we don't know. That's the kind of way I want to get into a film. Like, I feel like us in a boat, we kind of know a lot. Not a lot. I mean, it's the tip of the iceberg, but maybe it's the tip of the iceberg of his new Zack Snyder's Justice League, meaning a lot of things that we may know back then may not be so much now. And what he's going to put in Zack Snyder's Justice League could just be as surprising as if we've never known about the Snyder Cut. And that, to me, is certainly exciting, certainly get excited for. I can't wait to know. I can't wait to not know what we're going to get. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. It could just literally blow our fucking minds, right? Just blow our fucking minds, right? And that's the best part. The best part is when you're going into something and you don't know what the hell is going to happen, right? And you may have like maybe some, okay, this would happen, like this, but then it doesn't, that makes it a lot more like, oh, okay, all right, I'm in for the ride, just as much as the people who just found out that there was a Zack Snyder's Justice League when it was announced on May 20th, and we're all in it together. We're all new into what this actually means. So that's certainly exciting. And this is a kind of a continuation in a way from yesterday. I told you about how someone's video came down. The copyright said Justice League episode 1. Now, I want to get a little further, because when I'm looking at certainly when Club DC Comics Spain had put this out, right, he said that Justice League episode 1 could be the final title of the Snyder Cut. YouTube blocks us a video of Superman in the black suit claiming. So we've already mentioned that yesterday. But I like that they did this, though. I like that they threw this title on. Let me turn this off. Threw this little concept or graphic on, just to show what that could possibly look like. Zack Snyder's Justice League episode 1. And when I first saw that, when I saw episode 1, I figured episode 1, because it's a mini series, the first episode. But if it's the Black Suit Superman, why would the Black Suit Superman clip be in the first episode of the series? Wouldn't it be like episode, I don't know, 4 or 5 or 6, 10? Because it's the black suit, meaning he came out, he's resurrected. Why would that copyright at episode 1? I may be looking too far into this, so don't get mad at me. Tinfoil hat. But anyway, episode 1. So what I'm thinking is this really is a part 1, the first movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, episode 1, chapter 1. Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4, etc., etc. Next season, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Episode 2, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 2. Now, what I'm thinking of when I'm looking at this, I know Zack Snyder is a pretty much a diehard Star Wars fan. Like, if he could make a Star Wars movie, he'd make a Star Wars movie, right? He's a big Star Wars fan. Would he look at Justice League as like, I got my Snyderverse now? Could this be my Star Wars? Could I be the George Lucas of this universe and have these spin-off animations, TV series, all these little different things? And then my movie, right? My grandiose, my epic is Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League, episode 1. Like Star Wars, episode 1. Justice League, episode 2. Star Wars, episode 2. Ooh, that, like, just thinking of it in that way, it just feels epic proportions rather than just part 1, part 2, episode 1. When it says episode 1, especially when it's a gigantic property, it just feels like Star Wars epicness, right? Like Star Wars. So I'm like, I love that. Tastes good. So I don't know if that's going to be the case. I'm just spitballing right now when considering that. It could mean nothing at all. But I thought, hey, that's a pretty good art piece right there. And if that's true, I don't mind it at all. And I can't wait to find out at DC Fandom. So, but that's Zack Snyder's Justice League episode 1. Let's see. Let's wait and find out. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for subscribing. I will see you next time.